If you want continuous improvement, and if you want to improve customer relationships, if you want to improve quality, you have got to support your first level managers and supervisors. That's because the front line is where continuous improvement happens. It's where customer relationships happen. It's where quality happens. That's why we start with the line management, because they're the ones who kind of run the show. Manager who embraces the program and practices the program can expect culture change. So culture is what people do and how people treat each other. We're showing you how to improve processes, and we're showing you emotional intelligence in where you learn about emotional literacy, how to understand what emotions mean. Managers in the public sector and every sector really are forced to adapt to change rapidly. And it's a big challenge. And sometimes change is so rapid that things aren't getting done the way they should. There are quality issues, there are customer issues, more morale and retention is affected. And yet resistance to making things better so that we can manage all this change is a big problem as well. And that resistance is also affecting performance and quality and morale. The very things you're trying to improve. It's really, really frustrating. And I think managers and leaders are really feeling kind of pressed, kind of squeezed. It's like, what do you do with this? Part of the issue is that a lot of first-line managers really don't know how to confidently mount a process improvement project where you're going to deal with the inevitable resistance and where you're going to have to deal with the emotional fallout of change, even though to deal with this adapting challenge, you have to change. The bottom line is work is way harder than it needs to be, and that's behind the anxiety of getting things done and the feeling of being overwhelmed and backlogged and so forth. The thing about the resistance is that emotions are at the heart of that resistance, even when you're trying to make change for the better. You do not need lean experience. You don't need process improvement experience. You can be an absolute neophyte. You're going to be just fine. So the fact is that the principles and methods that I teach are universal. So it can be used by a government entity. So in that sense, it's universal. What I've noticed is when people are trying to change, they tend to want to avoid negative emotions, put a positive spin on things. They figure if they just communicate enough, people will get the point and they won't have negative emotions. They won't have to deal with all that negativity and everyone will live happily ever after. And that's really not true. Because what happens when you avoid negative emotions is that it perpetuates them. And it also perpetuates the circumstances that triggered those negative emotions. And if you continue to ignore them and try to steamroller over them, you end up driving those emotions underground. If you do that, your awareness of the problems are driven underground. Simplify Work, the reason we're doing it this way is because it gives first level managers a structure to improve the way things are done, while building their team's engagement at the same time. So you're going to have the tools to improve processes in a real simple way, an elegant way. And you're also going to have the tools to manage resistance and help people work through their emotions in a productive way.